Y'all didn't hear the first one. Get my money's worth out of this gavel while I'm up here. I am, if I don't crack the gavel. Okay, let's see. Boy, we got a lot of paper today. All right, we're going to call the meeting to order at 6:01. Would everybody rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance? Oh, Chaplain, Chappie, would you please, sir, give us an invocation? Thank you. You're on the stick. Yes, sir, please.
Dear Lord, we come before you this evening to praise your name. We thank you for all the blessings that you have given us. Tonight, Lord, we thank you for this council. We meet and work so tirelessly to promote and guide this city as it goes forward into the future. I ask your blessings on each of them. I ask your blessings on the police department that is being recognized and honored tonight for all that they do. Ask you to be with this city. Keep it going in the right direction. Keep everybody healthy and safe. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, consent agenda, minutes, I've gone brain dead. Who wants to say something about the minutes? How do we do this?
Nope, just motion.
Thank you. Are there any amendments or discussion for the city council meeting minutes for December 9th or December 16th?
I make the motion to approve the minutes as listed.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Mindy, would you poll?
Yes. Place 1. Aye. Place 2. Aye. Place 3. Aye. Place 4. Oh,
Aye.
sorry. Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6. Aye. Motion carried.
All right. Financials, we're going to vote to accept our financials. Susan, do you have anything to share with us?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that September 2025 is actually, they have already been approved, and so that's a typo here on the agenda. Tonight, we are accepting October and November, and the reason we have October, just as a reminder that we imported the new budget into the system with the new software, so.
So we tabled it last month.
That's right.
Okay, cool. All right, do I hear a motion?
I make the motion to accept October and November financials.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Mindy, would you poll the council, please?
Place 1. Place 2. Aye. Place 3. Place 4.
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, presentations. We have a proclamation for the National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. All right. Whereas National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, observed annually on January 9th, recognizes the dedicated men and women who serve in law enforcement and who work tirelessly to protect our communities, and whereas the Everman Police Department serves with professionalism, integrity, and courage, providing essential public safety services that safeguard the lives, property, and rights of the residents and visitors of the city of Everman, and whereas the officers and staff of the Everman Police Department demonstrate an unwavering commitment to public service through crime prevention, emergency response, community engagement, and the fair and impartial enforcement of the law, and whereas law enforcement professionals routinely place themselves in harm's way, making personal sacrifices to ensure the safety and well-being of others, often under challenging and unpredictable circumstances. And whereas the City of Everman is grateful for the dedication, resilience, and compassion shown by the Everman Police Department and recognizes the critical role its officers and civilian staff play in maintaining public trust and strengthening community partnerships. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, that January 9th, 2026 is hereby recognized as National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day in the City of Everman. And be it further proclaimed that the City Council and the citizens of Everman extend their sincere appreciation and gratitude to the Everman Police Department for its exemplary service, professionalism, and steadfast commitment to the safety and well-being of our community. All right.
And then, Mayor, before you present this to the police department, I think there was another special presentation. I don't know if you want to invite them up first and then do it all at once?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, special presentation and recognition of the police department from the Senior Citizen Advisory Board.
The Honorable Chief Randy Sanders.
Thank you, Honorable City Manager, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, Fire Chief, Attorney, Mindy. Anyway, I'm sure y'all probably all know, my name's Randy Sanders. I'm the voice of the Everman Advisory Committee, Everman Senior Citizens Advisory Committee. And I'll take just a second to introduce the committee. We have Johnny Allen, Linda Sanders, and I have Judy Graham. The others aren't here, but anyway, I just want to say on behalf of myself and the senior citizens of Everman, the advisory committee, the citizens of Everman, and the business owners of Everman, just how much we appreciate and support our police department. And what I'd like to do is present each one of them that are here with a small token of our appreciation, and just hope that they realize that we fully appreciate and understand what they go through. So if you guys want to come up, I will present you with a small token of our appreciation.
That's for you to present.
Okay.
I went all the way to Minnesota to get this for y'all. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I'm gonna slide in here and we'll get you. Can I just give you the rest of these, please?
You want to come up, Miss Allen, you want to come up too? Miss Sanders?
I'm gonna give one from, you put that box?
All right, let's move along to citizens' comments. Mindy, do we have any? No comments. Discussion items, here we go. Monthly staff reports. Police department is up first. Everybody should have all of the presentations at your desk.
Now it's green. Now it's on. Okay. Through the month of December, our call volume was down a little bit, which is a good thing. People were tied up for the holidays. We ended up with 1,040 calls for service that our officers responded to. And with that, we expected an increase at New Year's Eve. Didn't really have that this year. We were very fortunate. Members of the police department and fire department, the fire marshal's office, were on patrol throughout the evening and well into the night. I think I got home about 4:30 a.m. Watching for, responding to fireworks complaints. Our volume was very low this year. Very happy about that. Everybody around us, it was just going nuts. Our people were relatively behaved. We have been doing this for several years. More people on the street, fire marshals out, educating the people, getting the word out, reminding them, taking enforcement action when necessary, and it has paid off. Our incidents much lower than normal. We hope that continues. We'll go into our actual calls for service, our activity for the month. We'll start with traffic, traffic related, just a second. Much better. We had traffic enforcement. We've been increasing traffic enforcement for several months. And with that, what we've seen is the accident activity has gone down quite a bit. It's a direct correlation. The whole purpose of it is safety. Try to cut the accidents down. The accidents that still do occur are at lower speeds, so the injury rate is lower. This month, we ended up with our traffic crashes did increase because our traffic enforcement had decreased a little bit. We had 13 crashes. Only 2 of those were major injury-related crashes. We had 11 minors. I had a young man call one day and report a bump into accident. The 2 cars collided, no injuries, no big deal. The traffic enforcement yielded 126 stops that resulted in citations. Sometimes there are multiple citations on the stop. And they resulted in 102 warnings being issued, either written or verbal warning. We go to the crimes against persons, which is another one that everybody is always interested in and we're always looking to reduce. Our assault calls were down again. That's been a trend for a while, and we're very happy about that. We had 1 assault call in December. That is
Pretty good.
tremendous. We go into the, after crimes against person, we go to assist agencies. We are called upon every month to assist outside agencies. This month was no different. We responded to assist Forest Hill, Fort Worth, and the Sheriff's Office. All 3 of them we work closely with, and we respond to assist them on a regular basis. Property crimes, we're always trying to get people to protect their property, because if you don't, it's an easy target. How many times have you heard me ask people to lock their doors on their cars? Just a couple of days ago, we had an incident where a homeowner saw someone trying to get into her car. Her car was locked. She watched them go down the street, trying doors all the way down. We got over there, we saw them, we got in a little quick pursuit, and unfortunately they got away this time. But they didn't commit an offense because all the cars they hit were locked. It is crime prevention at its basis. Our burglary calls are down again. We ended up with 6 total burglary calls this month, or for the month of December. 5 of those were unfounded. Didn't turn out to be a burglary. The one that wasn't, resulted in an arrest. And we only had 5 reported thefts for the month. A lot of that is pure preventative patrol. They see us driving around. They don't want to take a chance on getting caught. Christmas, traditionally, burglaries and thefts increase. We did not have that this month. General disorder crimes, the disturbance calls, the fight calls, those fluctuate, but they stay relatively even. We ended up with 34 general disturbance calls, noise complaints, just anything that causes a disturbance. 14 domestic disturbance calls, and none of those really rose to the occasion of domestic violence. It was just arguments mainly. We had 5 fight calls, and as has been the pattern for quite some time, the majority of the fight calls were involving a school campus, 1 or more. Very common. Kids don't get along. We had a total of 1 person with a gun call. Didn't turn out to be much. That's the way we like it. The next one up there is the staffing update. Just to give you a little update on Daquan Ryans, one of our newest officers. He continues in field training. His time is drawing near. He's just got a few more weeks to go, and then he will be on his own. And we are right now screening applications for to fill the 1 vacancy that we do have presently. That's pretty much the month of December in a nutshell. It was, we don't say the Q word, but it was a relatively uneventful month. And that's the way we hope it stays, and we're going to do everything we can to help it stay that way. Any questions or comments?
You have efforts to fill the current patrol vacancy continue?
Yes, ma'am.
How many vacancies do you have?
We have 1. We're screening applications right now for the 1 vacancy that we have. Anything else?
Yeah, the ones that, shots fired,
Yes.
is that just in the city?
Not necessarily. No, we do have,
Is that part of Fort Worth or something too, or, yeah?
a lot of times we'll get calls where they'll hear something on the south side of Parkway
Okay.
or on the north side of town.
Yeah.
They'll call us. It may or may not be in our city.
Okay.
Anything else?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
All right, Animal Services.
Mayor Pro Tem Council. So we had a pretty busy month in December. We had 77 dogs brought in last month, quite a few. 31 of them came from here in Everman. We took in 29 cats, and 9 of those came from Everman. For our outcomes, we had 55 dogs we had positive outcomes for. 13 of them were adopted at our shelter. 11 of them were adopted at our mobile adoption center. We had 6 dogs that were returned to the owners, and 15 dogs that the officers spent the time and they found where the dogs lived and got them back home. And we transferred, to the rescues, we transferred 10 dogs out to them. So, for cats, we didn't have any adoptions for cats at all. We did have 1 cat returned to owner, and we returned 2 cats in the field back to their owners. And we transferred 19 to the rescue groups, and we TNR'd three cats. Our live release rate for December, we had 23 dogs that were tier 1s, which are healthy, adoptable, fairly quick to move dogs. We had 100% live release rate on those. Our tier 2 dogs, we had 29, which are harder to move, a little bit slower to get out. We had a 76% live release rate on those, and we had 25 tier 3 dogs, which either for medical or severe behavioral, we had a 40% live release rate on those. For cats, we had 8 tier 1s, and we had a 100% live release rate. We had 1 tier 2, which we had that one out as well, which was 100%. And we had 20 tier 3 cats, which are probably mostly feral cats. We had 80% of those we were able to get out. We had 1,734 phone calls in December, which was really high for December. I think because it was so warm, this was an unusual month. And that was a 29% increase from last year for our phone calls. And for field calls, our officers did 186 different calls in the field, and 60 of those were here in Everman. For our field calls, what we did mostly in the field, you'll see that mostly we responded to loose animal calls. We had 23 loose animal calls. And then our dashboard kind of shows you our intake of how, we've had more dogs intook so far this month. Cats were pretty high, but a lot more than last year. And you'll see that phone calls were up, but and our positive outcomes, though, they're up as well. And our total field calls is up. So we had a very busy month last month.
Looks like it.
Any questions I can?
No?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Fire Department.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council, Happy New Year. All right, so my report is going to be for calls of service and statistics between December 10th and present. For that time period, it's going to be a total emergency incidents of 127. The average response times for all calls, including county jurisdiction, would be 1 minute and 1 second, and with a total response time to scene of 6 minutes and 16 seconds for all fire-related calls, and en route minute and 13 seconds, and the total response time to scene of 6 minutes and 12 seconds for all EMS-related calls. Keeping in mind that those do include those county areas, and so there's a much farther haul for some of them, so that's why those numbers get extended, but typically, in-city calls are anywhere between 2.5 and 3 minutes for on-scene response. Our total training hours are a total of 84. Overlapping emergency incidents is 6. And here's the caveat. So we are transitioning from NFIRS, which is the National Fire Incident Reporting System that we have used for 40, 50 years. That wasn't really necessarily broke, but we decided to fix it, and we're transitioning to NARIS. That's a federal standard. And so that has created a lot of software and communication problems between softwares. So we have had to transition our reporting fire reporting data over, and so now I'm missing some of those data points. So hoping to get all that cleared up by the end of this month. Everything's compliant, but there's just communication issues. So I'm just yet able to get the actual response data and those times and whatnot off of the calls following January 1st. So everything before that has got, all those numbers are going to be full for January 1. The total number and the breakdown of response types, those were just manually done just to ensure that they were accurate for y'all. Fire type incidents were a total of 8, including 1 structure fire that was in city off of West Barron. And kudos to the guys on the crew and the amazing response from our mutual aid partners. They were on scene fast. They had a very aggressive interior attack. They did rescue one of the dogs from within the structure. They kept it to a very, very minimal amount of damage to the home. Pretty much just the back wall of the kitchen was damaged, but all of the possessions on the inside were salvageable. So the guys did an awesome job. Big special thanks to those guys for that.
Hey, Chief, I want to reiterate, because that's the crew that's here right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yes,
no reason, council, why this house should not have burned down. The fire was in the attic, it was running the attic, but thanks to these guys and how quickly they got there, how quickly they formulated a plan, enacted that plan, got in that home and stopped it. I mean, they saved that house. We talk about home saves a lot in the fire service, but every reason in the world, this house should have burned to the ground. And these guys acted insanely fast, did a phenomenal job, and they really did save that home. So definitely kudos to you and your guys. They did a phenomenal job.
Yes.
That's why we do it. So, especially, firemen want to be firemen. We want to go to fight fires, so, and myself included. So it's real hard to keep me out of one of them. So medical emergencies are a total of 97. Motor vehicle accidents are 9. And I just put a side note on here, including multiple motor vehicle accidents on Everman Parkway, namely at Christopher and Everman Parkway. Generally speaking, those are Fort Worth jurisdictions, but we work without even being formalized. We work so well hand in hand with Fort Worth that if they come to us, we're going, and if they're going to them, they're going, and so we're going to work hand in hand. And however the chips fall, we'll make sure that the incident's handled. So hazardous conditions are a total of 6, and then other is 7. And then to reiterate, I did put the New Year's fireworks enforcement is for, I believe, the first time since I have been doing it, no issuance of a citation. So I will attribute that to, I got a deputy fire marshal who works independently. He's actually a bigwig with insurance investigations for arsons and whatnot. So, but he's got a huge background with fire investigations and enforcement, and he's assisted me for a number of years as well. And he's asked for the last 2 years, "Do you want me to come help you out?" I'm like, "You can if you want," but because of the enforcement, it is dramatically decreased. The first year or two that we were doing it, we were back to back call holding. I think we received maybe 2 calls into dispatch for fireworks. So, and those were likely just because of Fort Worth or Forest Hill incidents. So they weren't in city. So, our blanketed approach has definitely improved the amount of enforcement we've had to do. The staffing, we are, and yes, I put the quotations, fully staffed, which also knock on wood. But the new firefighter, paramedic, he's going to be in his paramedic FTOs for a number of weeks. It could be up to even potentially 3 months. It just depends on how long it takes for everything to click, and then the doctor to say he's good to go and be released as a primary paramedic. So we are still technically 1 short on A shift until he is released off of his FTO. Other updates, the new medic is 98, based on the email I just read, 99% complete. It is in Cedar Hill down here, getting the finishing touches completed on there. There was one little warranty issue they had to fix, and then awaiting a new bumper. It was, I like the heavy duty looking bumpers, so they're supposed to be replacing that. The next one, I'm just going to put it out there. Big news teaser about the upcoming ISO announcement. I did receive an email from our ISO assessor. All I can say at this time is it's really great, awesome, big news, and I can't wait to give you more, but I just want to keep you on the edge of your seats.
It's a teaser, all right.
So here, I'll explain. So we do know, we've got the breakdown of all of our scoring information and whatnot, and we can't officially announce it and be on the record and then allow somebody to know, and then obviously telephone, tell a friend, tell a fireman, everybody finds out. It cannot be official until it is officially adopted by the State Fire Marshal's Office. So the ISO representatives have already submitted to the State Fire Marshal's Office. It can take 30 to 60 days for them to take it, receive it, give a thumbs up, issue us the letter, submit it to record, and that's what will be distributed to all the insurance agencies. We don't want to jump the gun, because you never know. Somebody can find something and say, "Oh, no, look, there's almost 0 chance that we've been told that could happen." But I just want to throw the teaser out there. Very, very, very good news. So just be on the edge of your seats, and I'll let you know, hopefully by next meeting. Fingers crossed. And then I have got a very stressful next week and a half. We'll be meeting with Texas Department of State Health Services and Texas Commission on Fire Protection compliance officers to be doing our compliance surveys and inspections with them. They'll be in our station and checking out. It's not based off a complaint, it's based off of a normal compliance. So they do biannual or every 4 years or intermittent whenever they're up to snuff with their inspectors. So, but they're very stressful and they are very, very in depth. So we'll get through them, and I feel confident that the guys are doing an amazing job on a daily basis to keep their things up and running and current so that we won't have any violations or issues. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief. All right, last is Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. It's nice to see you guys. We wanted to go over the month report. So for Parks and Streets, as you see there on the screen as well, The guys have been busy. They've been doing 10 potholes they did last month, 3 main brick cut-ins. So that means there was 3 main bricks. They went back and fixed the road and took care of those issues there. They replaced 6 signs and poles. So they've been working on Christopher. If you go by there, there's brand new signage with some stop signs and new signs there. So all that we've been trying to finish Christopher for you guys. So it looks nicer. On the events, we set up for 5 events this last month, and then also picked up all the Christmas decorations and everything that was out here, around here in the park. So that was for the Parks and Streets Department. Under the Water Department, it's been a little hectic lately. Repairing of the water wells. There's been a lot of things happening. Some pipes are breaking. It's old. The weather also triggers this issue. So the guys been working on those, especially high school and other wells here in the city. But they will be taken care of, and some of those are already taken care of as we speak. They have done 50 work orders. They changed 3 meters. They've done 4 sewer runs or calls that they got. They were able to clear those out for the customers. They changed 8 curb stops, and they also helped on mowing these lots up here and wherever else was needed that the parks and street departments needed help on. So we've been quite busy this last month. Other than that, that's what I have. You guys have any
I've
questions?
got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You say you changed 8 curb stops. What does that mean?
That's the cutoff valve to turn off your water going to your house.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Curb stops, okay, okay.
Yes,
I was thinking of something big, big. Okay, thank you.
ma'am. You're welcome.
All right, thank you guys for updating our different departments. B says discussion related to potential regular meetings between council members and department heads, presented by Councilwoman Sanders and Mayor Pro Tem Mackey. You're up.
When I was at the TML meeting, I went to one class where they were talking about city council people and their communication and getting their information from staff. And one of the recommendations that the gentleman had was for the council people to meet with city department heads quarterly. He says you can't, when you're in a council meeting, you can't just ask a question if it's not on the agenda. You get into executive session, you can't ask a question if it's not on the agenda. So that was his strong decision that council people need to do that. So I just brought it up to Craig to see if there's some way that we could do it, because we all have a lot of extra questions that we don't know when to ask, and just to see what could be done.
Sure, and we can do that to the extent of it would have to be individual meetings with council members. So we could set it up to where every quarter we set it up where you can come by and visit with department directors. We can all get in one room, or if you want to visit with each director individually, you know, I don't have a problem with that. 2 things to be cautious of. We can't do it in this type of setting without it being a public meeting. So if you're wanting to have those for lack of a better word, more intimate conversations where you can kind of get down into the weeds and be open and have those conversations, that a public meeting probably wouldn't be the best environment there. We could do work sessions if you wanted to. And in a work session, we can be a little bit more, correct me if I'm wrong, Victoria, we can be a little bit more open about discussing blanket items in those events, but I don't know that that's what you're looking for. I think you're wanting to be able to kind of get down into the weeds, talk about actual issues, and have those one-on-one conversations with the directors. If that's the case, we can do it, but it would need to be individually. Otherwise, we would have to post an agenda, and they would have to be made publicly available. I mean, the public would have to come in and be able to attend those meetings. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, that's correct. But I want to caution, you can still run afoul of the Open Meetings Act, because the Open Meetings Act isn't just, doesn't just prohibit a majority of the council from meeting outside of a duly noticed open meeting, but it the daisy chain, the walking quorum, is a majority and any other person. So if you have, for instance, the same department head meeting with a majority, although individually, meeting with a majority, then that's what's called a walking quorum. That would be a violation of the Open Meetings Act, if the same information is discussed. The other caution I would give is you don't want to violate your charter, so you want to make sure that those discussions, if they are held, that they're just questions, that there's no directive of any sort given to the department heads.
Right. Yeah, that was going to be my next point too, is because of the way the charter's worded. So we can go a couple of different ways. I think the concept is good. You want to be able to have the freedom to have an open conversation, ask the questions you want to ask with the department directors. I think that's great. And I think we could achieve that through a quarterly work session if you would like. We could start doing it that way. Probably fairly similar to how we do our budget workshops. We could do it that way, but just be mindful that it would be a public posted meeting. Public would have to have access to it, but we could certainly make it more intimate to where we can have those conversations. So,
Sometimes when we get in an executive session, we'll be talking and somebody will ask a question and say, can't talk about it, it's not on the agenda.
right.
So it's not all the time, but there are times when a question just pops up, what about this, what about that?
Sure. I would support quarterly workshops where we can do that.
Okay.
And I'll work with Victoria to make sure that we write appropriate agenda language that kind of gives you the freedom to ask questions regarding specific department operations or stats or whatever it is you'd be looking for. I think we could absolutely achieve that. But I just wanted to, with the caveat that it's got to be a public meeting.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Can I ask, so that doesn't interfere with our own being able to go in and meet with a department head and ask a question? This doesn't have to be anything like this,
So-
right? As a council member, I
Yes.
can schedule a meeting with,
Deeper discussion of, instead of just, something pops in your head and you want to go talk to Gilbert about it. A deeper discussion of what actually is this project? I mean, I'm going off the cuff here.
Yeah.
But something that's deeper that you might want to take more time. Well, we're just looking for the opportunity to be able to do that. And again, I know one person who drives the city manager crazy with questions, and so there's always that, come up and talk to him, email him, text him, something. So there's always that, but also sometimes we might just want to sit down and talk with the fire marshal and say, what's going on? Did I just promote you?
No, that's, yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Code enforcement.
But sometimes you just want to come in and, sorry about that, and just, pick his brain about something, and then that could lead to another question, which lead, just something maybe a little in-depth.
oh, okay.
And I don't know, that's kind of where I'm thinking we're coming from.
Satisfying your needs. So it really makes it easier for them, and it allows them the freedom to be able to go out and do what they need to do under one direction, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to take the direction of you as a whole and filter that direction out through the directors.
Right,
But-
but sometimes maybe you don't know everything that chief knows about a project,
Oh.
and so we would need to, just
A
because we
1,000%.
want to know.
I get asked questions, you've asked me questions, or somebody has asked me questions before, and I won't know the answer, and I do need to go to chief, or I need to go to Gilbert to get those answers, or Susan a lot of times if it's a finance-related question. And I'm happy to do that. Please don't think that I'm saying I want you to start going to the direct. I am here for you. You can come to me any day, any time, and I'm happy to chase down those answers for you and get that. But if a work session environment is,
Because if I have a question, I'm coming to you first, for you to get the answer for me. You know, and I don't know, you should know it. You should know the answers to most everything, really, what's going on.
most of the time, unless it gets down
Yeah,
into the weeds,
most of the time.
sometimes I don't.
Yeah, I don't know,
But I'm also very quick at trying to chase it down for you. I'll get the answer.
right, yeah, that's what I mean, you know, I don't know.
And I'll chime in and say that's the preferred way. That
Yeah.
is preferred, because that's the chain of command that, and the
Yeah.
operation that you've set in place with the city manager form of government, so. And it avoids any, potential TOMA violation.
Yes. Okay, any more discussion? Thank you, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
I guess I just need to, I kind of need to understand what my guidance is here. Am I putting this on a future agenda item for discussion and consideration? Do you want me to go ahead and just start scheduling quarterly work sessions? It's up to you.
What would you like? What is everybody's thought on that?
I just don't want this to be a dead issue when we walk out and I don't really
Oh,
have any
yeah.
direction, if that makes
Or
sense.
do you just want it as needed rather than quarterly? Like if you're wanting to know?
Well, and I mean, I'll tell you, if you're talking about having them every quarter,
As needed.
I think the one, as we're already meeting in the budget period, and I think a lot of those questions get answered as a part of the budget process, right? I'm assuming those kind of in-depth questions. So, I mean, we're already doing that at least one point in time of the year. So I don't know if maybe you'd want to do one opposite of that. Maybe we plan for one coming up in like March, say mid-year. So you have an opportunity, in addition to the one time a year that we're doing budget, you have another opportunity kind of mid-year to sit down with all the directors and maybe we do a budget review. We look at budget performance, and as we're going through, it gives an opportunity for you to ask questions of the directors, of their operations, what's working well, what's not working well. Maybe that's a good path forward.
I like that budget review,
That
yes.
might be,
Excellent.
because we get to ask lots of questions in budget. I mean, we just ask them, but yeah, that might be a good way to go.
Well, because you can tie almost anything back to budget, right? Because everything costs money, right? Personnel, operations, calls, all that. So, okay. So we'll look to do that. I think I'll work with Susan and we'll look to do a mid-year budget review. We'll bring all the directors in. We can look at our budget performance at that time. We can do a workshop and discuss in length any concerns or issues you have with the departments. I think that'll be good.
That
We
would
can
be
do
good.
that. Okay.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, consideration and possible action, let's move along. A is ordinance number 846, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, amending the City of Everman City Council boards, commissions, and committee rules and procedures to provide procedures for public comment by city council members, providing a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve ordinance number 846 as read.
A second.
All right, any discussion? Any discussion? Okay. No discussion obvious. Mindy, would you poll the council?
Yes. Place 1,
Aye.
place 2. Aye. Place 3. Aye. Place 4.
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6. Aye. Motion carried.
Who seconded that?
Me.
Thank you.
Linda.
Okay, let's go to item B, resolution number 2026-01-01, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, adopting the Tarrant County 2025 Hazard Mitigation Action Plan, providing a repealing clause and providing an effective date. Do I hear a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 2026-01 as read.
Second.
All right, motion and seconded. Mindy, would you poll the council, please?
Yes. Place 1.
Aye.
Place 2. Place 3. Place 4.
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6. Motion carried.
All right, resolution number 2026-01-02, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, approving and authorizing updates to the City of Everman Personnel Manual, directing the Director of Human Resources to update and distribute the Personnel Manual no later than January 31st, 2026, and providing an effective date. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 2026-01-02 as read.
A second.
All right, motion and second. Mindy, would you poll the council, please?
Yes. Place 1,
Aye.
place 2, place 3, place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6. Motion carried.
And did we have any discussion before we moved on? I just skipped right over that. Sorry. Okay, no discussion, right? Sorry. I was taking a shortcut. Okay, D, resolution number 2026-01-03, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, ratifying the approval and execution of a contract for fire extinguishment and emergency services between the City of Everman and Tarrant County Emergency Services, District Number 1, by the city manager, and providing an effective date. Do I hear a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 2026-01-03 as read.
Second.
All right.
Yes.
What exactly is this?
Yes, ma'am. So this one actually needs some clarification too, because I do want to be clear. This is a resolution ratifying, meaning that I have already executed this contract agreement with the ESD. The reason why is because we have been in discussions at length with the ESD for, I don't know, the last year on working out this updated contract. And for the past 3 months, we have actually been operating without a contract, and I really don't like doing that. I wanted to get a contract in place after a significant amount of work between our fire chief, our city attorney, and at least their staff, maybe their attorney too, I don't know. But we were finally able to arrive at an agreement here on the contract. This is the contract for service in which the Everman Fire Department contracts with Tarrant County to provide fire and EMS service to the unincorporated parts of Tarrant County, as well as support and mutual aid to any Tarrant County Fire Department, and the obligation on their part to reimburse us for cost. So we have seen an increase in that. Do you remember the number off the top of your head? I don't.
The positive out of this contract is that it's actually based upon call volume and response model and apparatus that we send. It's not a flat rate, which was what it was before. So it effectively diluted the pot every time there was more responses to. So this one is paying us per incident that we respond to and per transporter, per against medical advice, no transport, et cetera. So it does. Now, obviously, we will always ask, the more money that we can receive, the better. We'll never say no to a handout, but it does increase and improve the position that we're in with the ESD overall.
Okay, there was our discussion. Mindy, would you poll the council?
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2, place 3, place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6. Motion carried.
All right, E, resolution number 2026-01-04, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, authorizing the city manager to approve and expend up to $296,300 for the emergency replacement of a ground storage water tank at the high school well site, declaring that an emergency exists due to damage rendering the tank unusable, authorizing the bypass of competitive bidding requirements as permitted by law, and providing an effective date. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 2026-01-04 as read.
Miriam, yes, we will have some discussion.
When did we first become aware of the need?
This is an emergency repair replacement. So we had last week, Gilbert, is when the inspection. We noted a leak of the water storage tank at the high school well lot. That's not the big tower. There's a ground storage tank adjacent to the tower that is on the high school property. That tank is where the pumps initially pump the water into for storage. That tank has been leaking. We had USG come out and inspect the tank and determine that that tank has suffered a catastrophic failure that cannot be replaced, or I'm sorry, that cannot be repaired.
What
And
is it?
the storage tank, it is rusted out essentially,
I want,
yes. And it cannot be repaired.
Okay.
So the tank must be replaced. This is unfortunately at a very bad time, in addition to us also having some well issues at the PD well site. Full transparency, I did just authorize an emergency repair there, $46,000 emergency repair at the PD well site.
That's a new well.
The tank is new, the wells are not. So
Oh, okay.
the wells are what pump the water out of the ground. We did replace the storage tank. The wells themselves are not new.
Okay.
The piping that goes down into the well, one of the pipes have suffered catastrophic failure. Fortunately, the casing itself is still in very good shape, so we just need to replace the pipe. But I did authorize a $46,000 expenditure to get that replaced and repaired as quickly as possible, because we are actively down 3 well sites because of the issues we are having at Columbine Well, this particular issue at the high school well, and then that casing issue that we had at the PD well. Fortunately, we're in the cooler months, so our water consumption and water demand is not very high currently, but we cannot continue water service at an acceptable level if we do not have at least 4 of our 5 sites up. So unfortunately, the high school well site, we consulted with the city engineer, consulted with Gilbert on what the priorities are. Priority 1 was to repair and replace the piping system at the PD well site, which I've gone ahead and authorized. They're working on that and moving forward on that now. The next priority is going to be the high school to replace this tank, and our engineers estimate that to be about $300,000. Keep in mind, there is a contingency factor included in this, but the price of steel is also all over the place due to tariffs and issues with the federal government. So I'm hopeful it doesn't come in higher than that, but we are asking for authorization for up to $300,000 to replace this. Where this will come from is likely 2 potential sources. One of those sources being impact fee dollars that we have as a result of the new development from Hannah Ranch, and the other source being water reserves. Those are only 2 sources we have to fund this project, but we do have funds available to cover this.
Okay.
It is going to hurt our financial position there for this fiscal year, but we have to replace this water tank.
What is wrong with what problems are you having with the Columbine website?
So,
When did they start using it? Because it's new. What problems are we having? Did we ever start using it?
We need to go into executive session if we're going to discuss Columbine.
okay, can we do that? Okay, so
Well, actually,
It's not on the
no,
agenda.
it's not on the agenda. There,
can we do it because we're discussing finances associated with it, and that is going to be a project? I'm just trying to think.
That just says,
there's potential litigation.
Yeah.
I would prefer that we not discuss it in open session.
No, I'm saying, can we go into executive session because it is tied underneath finances associated to it, so to get city attorney advice on this?
If the council member believes that hearing some information about Columbine will affect her vote on this issue, council member?
We can just table it for another.
Okay.
okay, any further discussion on item E? Okay, Mindy, would you poll the council, please?
Place 1.
Aye.
Place 2.
Aye.
Place 3. Place 4.
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6. Motion carried.
All right, executive session. We have something listed there, but I've been informed that we actually don't have anything to update on this 101 East Enon Avenue issue, so we're not going to go into executive session on that. We'll postpone that to another time. Consideration and possible action from executive session, we don't need that. City managers report.
Okay, I've got two things. First off is good news. I've sent everybody the information for our annual employee gala. That is January 31st at 6 p.m. So make sure to check your email. There should be an RSVP link in there. Please RSVP if you could by the 17th so I can get a good head count for our caterers. So you should have that information. Do what? Oh. Next, I wanted to discuss and just share with you, I was informed today, and we cannot discuss or deliberate on this issue, but I will need pretty prompt feedback from council, so I will be reaching out to you to share more details, but we have been asked about our position on the Black Mountain development. I got some information today that they have acquired new property at the intersection of Enon Avenue and Anglin Drive. There is actively a zoning change application submitted to the city of Fort Worth to rezone that as a part of planned development. I've got some questions that I'm working to get answered and hope to share those with you here pretty soon, but please expect to hear from me this week to share those details with you. And the city of Fort Worth, not necessarily me, but the city of Fort Worth is seeking input, so if you would like to share your input on that with the council member with District 8, you'll have an opportunity to do that, and I want to encourage you to do that since they are actively working on a rezone here. You've got questions. I don't have the answers. I'm working on getting those answers right now, and as soon as I have them all, I will share them with you, but I just wanted to put that on your radar. This parent development has also been of interest with the media as of late too, so I've been contacted by the media, and I have voiced our stance is that we are not in opposition, but also not in support, and we are very neutral as it currently stands as a city. So just be prepared to hear from me on that issue as we move forward. And that's all I've got.
All right. Next up is mayor's report. Mayor is not available. Mayor Pro Tem has no report. So I'm going to gently tap the thing and adjourn the meeting at 6:59.
Did that to make it for earlier?
Yes. Got a little carried away.